Lough Neagh, 148 square miles of water, home of the famous Lough Neagh eel, trout, bird life, insect life, leisure and tourism, and over 40% of Northern Ireland's drinking water, our drinking water. Now, as a result of sewage and chemicals being dumped into this beautiful and huge gift of nature, it has turned blue-green, poisoned. This jar was dipped into the loch a week ago, and this is how it has settled, and it smells absolutely putrid. We all care greatly, don't we?
We need to have people who are prepared to put their head above the parapet and call out what's going wrong.
Blue-green algae is not a new problem that's facing Northern Ireland. It has been known for decades that it's been affecting our waterways, and in particular Lough Neagh.
People are beginning to see environmental crisis right on your doorsteps. It's not drought or floods or earthquakes all across the globe. It's right here in Northern Ireland we have an environmental crisis.
Those who administer Northern Ireland, politicians, civil servants, local councils, they all say they're concerned. Concerned about the blue-green algae in Lough Neagh, which has stopped the traditional eel fishing and has badly affected trout fishing as fishermen's boat engines get swamped in the thick soup of this algae. But what have the decision makers in this place done? They've done what they always do. Avoided the problem, kicked it down the road, talked a lot, but did nothing. Well, not nothing.
So I think firstly I would like to just thank everybody who's taken time this morning to dial into this information event for the Lough Neagh blue-green algae SBRI.
The Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs launched a competition asking interested groups to tender for providing a solution. They're spending up to £35 million on the problem. Months after launching the competition, they chose 5 groups and awarded them £90,000 each to go away and develop their ideas. One company which didn't make it through this phase was a South African company which has a track record of solving the blue-green algae issue, the exact same issue as Lough Neagh. They use a floating machine. Bioaire is the company which invented and manufactures the floating machine, which has already cleared lochs in South Africa and Florida. Sewage plants and other problem waterways have also benefited from this machine. It purifies the water by extracting the nutrients which feed the algae and by oxygenating 1.4 million litres of water every hour.
The lake has now become this sort of cesspool of nutrients, and nutrients, it's like a liquid fertilizer, if you want, for want of a better word. And you need to jumpstart the natural process again. Once the natural process is started again, it will snowball and just become a good quality lake again.
The machine costs less than £30,000. Remember that £35 million Stormont has dedicated to this? 30,000, 35 million. Northern Ireland said, no thank you. The 5 companies chosen to take their ideas forward are Clearwater Systems Limited, using a free-roaming surface robot to neutralise algae. The company was incorporated in Northern Ireland in August 2024. Helix 8 Limited, a software company. Varicon Aqua Solutions Limited, who specialise in growing algae. Whole Schools Software Limited, who specialise in software for schools. And Queen's University Belfast. Each of the 5 shortlisted groups was given £90,000 to help them develop their pitch for the business. Local businessman Andrew Cooper is the representative of Bioaire in the UK, so he wants to sell these machines wherever waterways need cleaning up. He's an engineer and is on top of the science of this water cleaning device. He was the one who applied to the government's competition for a solution to this Lough Neagh problem. He was convinced they would bite his hand off to get this technology.
We thought we were fairly strongly placed, given that we have technology that's proven in different countries around the world, and we were very surprised to learn that we didn't make it through the first phase of the competition at all. We approached the department, looked for feedback, and the feedback took some time to come back, and we were quite surprised at the feedback. One of the points being that the department wasn't interested in existing technology which could be deployed immediately.
He asked for a meeting with the Minister, Andrew Muir, who has been vocal in his desire to fix the lock. He refused to meet him. Other politicians were approached and also did not return the call. When Andrew told me this, I could hardly believe it. 5 companies had been chosen to go through to the next phase of the procurement process. They'd been given £90,000 each. I struggled to see what some of these companies could bring to the party. So now we have 5 companies given £90,000 each. That's almost £500,000. That would have bought 16 of these machines. £500,000 spent, and still no further on. Andrew talked Bioaire into building 2 machines at their own expense and shipped them to Northern Ireland from South Africa. I've been a journalist in Northern Ireland since I was 19 and have witnessed some of the biggest wastes of money through bad decisions, dithering, incompetency, and sometimes, dare I say it, fraud. There are many, many more examples of huge amounts of money wasted, opportunities lost. But this is worse. Our drinking water is being poisoned. I drink water, my family drink water, my friends drink water. Most of the water in Northern Ireland comes from here, a massive natural reservoir. The problem is, it's being poisoned. Would you drink that? What's the government doing about it? I wanted to highlight the fact that a solution, if found by the government, was still at least a year away, and the blue-green algae problem is getting worse. Yet the solution was here and now. A number of calls were made to various authorities to ask permission to drop the machines into Lough Neagh. It was either a no or they didn't come back. Lough Neagh is a large fishing lake near Dungannon, on the same plain as Lough Neagh. It has been suffering the same blue algal blooms as Lough Neagh. The owner gave Andrew permission to drop one of the machines into the water to show our decision makers, our politicians, our civil servants, what they have missed in their decision making and how this £30,000 machine is solving the problem now, and the savings which Northern Ireland could put into the health service or the roads or the water service. That would be a saving of £34.5 million. But hey, the people who administer this place waste that kind of money frequently when they run years behind schedule on projects like hospitals and roads, or major projects like the Maze, the Giants Park, or Casement Park, the York Street Interchange, the A5 dual carriageway. Not one of the major infrastructure projects planned by the government here has come in on time or on budget. In fact, massively over time, not built at all, and massively over budget to the tune of thousands of millions of pounds. A recent Audit Office report looked at the flagship projects to be given priority in Northern Ireland as part of the programme for government more than a decade ago. The executive summary of the report said, "In our view, the existing cumbersome governance and delivery structures within the Northern Ireland public sector are not conducive to maximising the achievement of value for money." Last year, the Audit Office reported on the 11 flagship projects ongoing, all running massively behind time, and when added together, they will cost £2.45 billion more to complete than originally budgeted for. That is £2,450 million. And that's not the cost of the projects. That's the amount our government has gone over budget. That's the amount wasted. Now, it's Lough Neagh's turn. Remember the £35 million budgeted for Lough Neagh? Remember the £30,000 for the machine which can help clean the blue-green algae? Was it not even worth a look? Does it matter that this place doesn't work? Does it matter that our water is being poisoned? Yes, it does. But who's to blame? NI Water? The company has admitted discharging up to 20 million cubic metres of waste into waterways every year. The same company is also responsible for providing Northern Ireland's drinking water. Remember, more than 40% of our drinking water comes from the lough. NI Water blames lack of investment and outdated infrastructure, thousands of domestic septic tanks and industrial treatment processes, diluted sewage and runoff, as well as fertilisers and slurry spread on fields by farmers. Farmers? Not us. We've been reducing our use of fertilisers and we are careful where and when we spray slurry.
Farmers are making good use of their natural resources by doing that and changing their farming practices. But that hasn't been recognised by this government.
You see potential technological and manufacturing solutions such as what's behind us today that's in use in places like South Africa and further afield and having an impact. I can't understand why the department in particular would not fund a low-cost alternative like something like this, which has the potential to deal with the problem and also lift the foot off the farmer.
We need to look at all aspects of the science here. We need to look at things like this here today, that's been tried here to try and reduce the amount of algae in the water. Things like that needs to be looked at more and more before there's any decisions really made.
If we can provide technological low-cost solutions, I mean £30,000 in comparison to what the Minister has announced, 35 million in relation to the spend on some of these projects that he's involved in.
Who's going to fix Lough Neagh?
The environment and our natural resources should be something we protect and enhance rather than something we exploit to make money out of, and ultimately that's led to the situation that we have in Lough Neagh.
We have units deployed throughout South Africa successfully, units deployed to the United States of America. I'm being totally frustrated at the lack of response, even to engage to take a meeting in relation to a potential solution that could be evaluated. We decided to commercially bring 2 units to Northern Ireland to basically show and tell.
Politicians, councillors, MLAs, ministers, senior civil servants, those of you who have mismanaged this place down through the years and squandered thousands of millions of pounds, hang your head in shame. Get better or move over and give your job to someone who can actually do it. Someone who can do it without squandering thousands of millions of pounds, money which our economy so desperately needs.